I never imagined that hitting a simple panic button would set off a chain reaction leading to neighborhood-wide chaos and criminal charges against the HOA president. But that's exactly what happened the day Karen Whitfield, head of our HOA, decided she had the right to enter my house using a bogus master key. At the time, I was hundreds of miles away on a Zoom call with international clients. Back home, my 12-year-old son Leo was inside, calm, smart, and totally prepared for what was about to happen. What Karen didn't know was that every move she made was caught on camera, and those recordings, they'd be her downfall. I'm Marcus Chen, a single dad and a software engineer. I moved to Willowbrook Estates 3 months ago, hoping to find peace and a fresh start. With tree-lined streets, a gated entrance, and the illusion of tranquility, this community looked perfect for Leo and me. But beneath the surface, it was ruled by Karen Whitfield, a woman who thought her volunteer title made her a dictator. Karen introduced herself within hours of our move-in. Clipboard in hand, she walked right up and judged our moving boxes like they were a crime. Her first words were about community standards, followed by passive-aggressive smiles and fake politeness. I brushed it off, typical HOA behavior, I thought. But I was wrong. The red flags started flying when she saw Leo walking home from the school bus alone one day while I was unloading groceries. She marched up with a concerned tone and said, "Single dads often struggle with proper supervision. Have you considered after-school care?" I told her kindly but firmly that Leo was responsible. I worked from home, and I had smart security cameras monitoring everything. She smiled, but there was something off, coldness behind her eyes. I had a feeling this wasn't over. A few days later, she showed up again, this time claiming the HOA had a policy that prohibited leaving kids under 16 home alone. I asked her to show me that rule. She said it was under review. The document never came. What did come was Karen herself again and again. Every weekday around 3:45 p.m., her silver SUV would cruise by. Sometimes she'd park across the street and just sit there. Leo started to feel uneasy and once even asked Dad, "Is she trying to kidnap me?" That's when I started logging everything: photos, timestamps, camera footage. Still, nothing could prepare us for what happened one Tuesday in October. I was in the middle of an important video meeting with Japanese clients when my phone lit up with alerts. Front door motion detected. Failed key entry attempt. Unknown access. Then I heard her voice on our speaker system, loud, angry, demanding. Karen was ordering my son to open the door. She was jamming a key into the lock, saying she was performing a welfare check as the HOA president. Leo stayed calm. He activated our home's emergency lockdown, a feature I installed just for peace of mind. It sealed the doors and windows and activated full surveillance recording. And he called me. "Dad, that Karen lady is trying to get in. She has a key, but it's not working." "You did the right thing," I said, trying to sound calm while my heart pounded. Through the security speaker, I warned Karen she was trespassing and ordered her to leave immediately. That's when she panicked and made her biggest mistake. She called 911. She told the dispatcher there was a child alone and in danger. Minutes later, I was on the phone with the police myself, explaining the truth, but they were already on the way. I left the meeting mid-call and raced home. That 15-minute drive felt like a lifetime. When I arrived, 2 police cars were parked. Outside, Karen was pacing the lawn, hysterical, waving her phone, accusing me of child neglect. Officers Martinez and Thompson stood calmly on the porch. Leo, speaking through our doorbell camera, said he was doing his homework and didn't want to open the door to a stranger as I pulled up. Karen pointed at me like she'd just spotted Bigfoot. "That's the father. He left his child alone." "Officer." Martinez turned to me. "Sir, may we hear your side of the story?" "Absolutely," I replied, unlocking the door with my real Kakarin's so-called master key dangling uselessly in her hand. Inside, Leo sat at the kitchen table doing math. The officers checked on him. He was fine. Then, I showed them the video footage. They watched Karen try to force her way in, shouting, jabbing the key, and then falsely calling the police. Officer Thompson turned to her. "Where did this key come from?" "It was for emergency maintenance," she said, sweating. You made a copy of a homeowner's key without their permission? It's HOA policy, she stammered. Please show us the policy, Officer Martinez said. She couldn't. Then I pulled out the folder I'd been building documented times Karen had driven by our house. Screenshots of her bizarre messages, and even a neighbor's video showing Karen sitting outside in her car for 25 minutes watching our front door. When the officers asked Karen more questions, her story fell apart fast. The words false report, unlawful entry, and trespassing came up. She turned pale. By now a crowd had formed. Neighbors were peeking through windows, pretending to check mail. Phones were out. This was going to hit the neighborhood. Facebook group by dinner. When asked again for proof of any HOA bylaw granting her entry rights, Karen mumbled something about documents at home. Officer Thompson was done. No HOA rule overrides state trespassing laws. Ma'am, you're being cited. You can't do this, AIM, the HOA president. Doesn't matter, Officer Martinez replied, as he handed her the citation. Told them I'd be pressing charges. Mentioned my attorney was already on standby. Karen's face fell. At the next HOA meeting, it was standing room only. I brought my lawyer, Jacob Morrison. He specializes in HOA disputes, calmly and thoroughly. He laid out the facts. The unauthorized key copy, harassment of a minor, and false emergency report. Karen sat at the front like a statue. Board members who once supported her were now silent. Jacob requested a full HOA key audit. Tom Bradley, the treasurer, admitted that Karen never had approval for any key policy. Sarah Kim, the secretary, backed him up. Meeting notes showed. The board had denied Karen's request months ago. A vote of no confidence was called. It was unanimous. Karen stood, red-faced. You'll regret this. Without me, this neighborhood will fall apart. She stormed out, but it didn't end there. Karen was fined $5,000 for the false report. The unauthorized key duplication triggered. Misdemeanor charges, her real estate license, suspended. We sued for harassment and emotional damages and won. She was ordered to pay $15,000 and banned from ever holding an HOA position again. The final blow? A restraining order? She can't come within 100 feet of our home. At her sentencing, she stood alone. No clipboard, no power, no allies. The judge. Read her offenses. When the bailiff announced her probation terms, she broke down. The woman who tried to control a neighborhood with fake authority had become a warning story. All because my 12-year-old son knew when to press the panic button.